broken system.
People think if they call EMS, they get in faster, because that's not true.
Essex Windsor EMS face recurring code black challenges. Warning.
The center of tornado activity in the country used to be southern Saskatchewan, and now it's southern Ontario.
New data shows our region leads the nation in tornadoes. And from classroom to clinic.
Individuals who participate in the Backstage Pass Job Shadow program have an opportunity to peek behind the curtains, as we like to say.
A chance to explore careers in healthcare.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Essex Windsor EMS is responding to more calls than ever before, leading to an increase in code blacks. That is when there are no ambulances available anywhere in Windsor, Essex. Bob Belichico is following this. So, Bob, this record number of emergency calls has led to some advice from Windsor Regional Hospital officials, correct?
Well, Stefanie, it all comes down to supply and demand. Now, interesting stat, code 3 calls went up 14%. Those are calls that don't involve lights or a siren. Now, to help reduce the number of non-urgent calls, hospital officials are encouraging residents to know when to call EMS and when to go to a clinic or reach out to a primary care provider. Essex Windsor EMS responded to more than 68,000 urgent and non-life-threatening calls in 2025, a 4.4% increase over the previous year.
In summary, the report reflects a system operating under sustained pressure with demand, workforce capacity, and infrastructure all contributing to the challenges we continue to navigate. We remain focused on doing better.
Those stats reported by EMS Chief Justin Lammers at County Council this week.
Call volume, bed capacity within the hospital, number of staff, whether it's, EMS availability in our community. So it's definitely multifactorial, and we work together to try and achieve a decreased risk for our community.
Code black occurs when community call volume is high and a multitude of ambulances converge on the hospital at once, leaving no ambulances left to answer calls. The biggest jump came in code 3 calls, EMS transporting a patient to hospital with no lights or sirens needed. Those calls rose by 14%.
Whether you arrive via EMS or you walk in, patients are treated by what we call acuity, so how sick you are versus how maybe not sick you are, and that's how we bring people into the department and how people are treated.
Despite the increase in calls, EMS is seeing improvements at local hospitals. Paramedics spent 1,000 fewer hours waiting to transfer patients to emergency departments during the first quarter of this year.
We've done a lot together. We've done the Fit to Sit program. We've opened up capacity within our emergency department to help them when they're in times and vice versa. So I think the partnership is really important.
Challenges still exist. Code black events increased by 57% last year. To help improve response times and manage resources, EMS plans to introduce a new medical priority dispatch system this fall and launch 2 rapid response units for the area's most critical calls. Hospital officials remind residents there are community resources outside of the emergency department they can use, like clinics and family doctors.
Coming to the emergence for emergency services. So there's resources to educate the public on what that looks like.
So, Windsor Regional Hospital shared a video on their Facebook page earlier today. It's called Make the Right Call. It's under 2 minutes long and basically explains when residents should call 911 for an ambulance. We'll share that video on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Stefanie, back over to you.
Okay, Bob Belichico with our top story. Thank you for this. Meantime, Windsor police are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect linked to an arson investigation in Walkerville. Police say a fire that caused extensive damage to a business in the 1000 block of Wyandotte Street East on April 3rd was intentionally set. Surveillance video shows a suspect arriving by bicycle, setting fire to a wooden structure behind the building, and then leaving the area. Investigators have now released the video in hopes of identifying the suspect. A pair of fires kept first responders busy yesterday. The first on North Service Road near the EC Row Expressway that caused hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. Firefighters responding to the blaze around 4:30 in the 5500 block. Officials say the fire was out within an hour. Total damage is estimated at $325,000 to 2 structures, railroad equipment, a hydro pole, among other miscellaneous equipment. The cause has not been released. And then a house fire in Amherstburg caused $600,000 in damage and displaced a family of 4. Crews were called to the 100 block of McBride Avenue around 2:30 Thursday afternoon. They found heavy smoke coming from the 2-story home when they arrived. Officials say the fire originated in the mechanical room and spread to the second floor. It is considered accidental. Officials also report multiple firefighters experienced heat-related injuries while operating at the scene, and one firefighter sustained a minor injury as well. Let's take a break. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight, where it's just gorgeous out there, Gary.
Well, it is, but I'm inside right now. Yes. The good news is that I'm protecting myself from the rain that's likely to be dropping as I speak along this cold front. And with that, there's the chance of some thunderstorm activity. Unfortunately, this will put to an end, right? This wonderful streak of gorgeous weather that has been warm but comfortable. The rain showers that are likely to drape this region tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll see a second and third wave. That means it's going to be a stormy next 24 to 36 hours. Where does it go from there? Sunday into next week, I'll break down what you need to know from inside in the studio. Sorry, Stefanie, I forgot to tell you. Because of the rain, I'm inside now. That's a look at your weather. We'll join you again in moments.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Now, those looking to beat the heat this weekend may want to avoid Lake St. Clair. Warning signs have been posted at Lakeshore Lakeview Park West Beach, as the E. coli counts are just shy of 400 or higher and pose a health risk. The other 6 beaches on Lake Erie don't have the same concerns, but predictive modeling does show a moderate risk at Colchester Beach. Sandpoint Beach remains closed to swimmers this summer for safety reasons. With other summer-like weather already settling into Windsor, Essex, a warmer than normal summer is expected across much of Canada. And experts are urging residents to start thinking about severe weather preparedness and to do it now. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us now to explain further on this. Chris.
Yes, Stefanie, as Windsor, Essex prepares for heat, thunderstorms and possible wildfire smoke, experts are also noting Ontario now sees more tornadoes than any other province.
Summer may still be 2 weeks away, but Windsor, Essex is already getting a taste of what's to come. Environment and Climate Change Canada is forecasting warmer than normal temperatures this summer, while cautioning residents to be prepared for heat-related illness, severe weather, and possible wildfire smoke. Jennifer Smith is a national warning preparedness meteorologist with Environment Canada.
I would expect a warmer summer with the still that same potential for severe storms.
Those storms are nothing new for southwestern Ontario. New research from Western University's Northern Tornadoes Project suggests tornado activity has shifted eastward over the past several decades.
The center of tornado activity in the country used to be southern Saskatchewan, and now it's southern Ontario.
Dr. Dave Sill says Windsor, Essex remains particularly vulnerable. The area lacks some of the natural protection other parts of southern Ontario receives from the Great Lakes.
The lake protection isn't there for Windsor and Essex County.
While Ontario has recorded 4 tornadoes so far this year, all near London, experts say preparation remains key. Environment Canada is also launching a new thunderstorm outlook tool next week that will help Canadians identify areas where conditions are favorable for severe storms up to 36 hours in advance. Closer to home, Windsor Fire and Rescue is keeping a close eye on dry conditions.
Number 1, no open burning, no backyard bonfires. That's the one thing that is going to have a risk at catching surrounding vegetation on fire and it'll spread to other areas.
Windsor's Chief Fire Prevention Officer John Smith says residents should also properly extinguish smoking materials, secure outdoor furniture before storms, and keep an emergency kit on hand in case severe weather knocks out power.
The safest thing is to be away from windows and doors and an interior room of the house, usually like a bathroom or something like that without windows.
Experts say staying informed, staying prepared, and paying attention to weather alerts remain the best defense against whatever the summer season may bring.
Environment Canada says residents should stay informed, paying attention to weather alerts and air quality updates throughout the summer, while local fire officials are reminding people to avoid open burning and have an emergency plan in place before that severe weather strikes. Stephanie?
All great pieces of advice. Chris Campbell, thank you for this. So here's our question of the day. Are you concerned about the increase in tornado and wildfire risk this summer? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you struggle to find your first summer job. Out of around 500 responses, 79% answered no. Windsor Regional Hospital has launched its new Backstage Pass Job Shadow program, offering participants a behind-the-scenes look at a variety of healthcare careers. Melanie Kentner has more on this for us tonight. Melanie.
Stephanie, this is a one-shift observational experience that gives people a chance to see what it's really like to work in healthcare and hopefully entice them into the field. The program is open to anyone 16 and older, including high school and post-secondary students exploring career options, as well as adults considering a new profession. It started as a pilot project at the beginning of the 2025-26 school year and has already drawn strong interest with more than 170 participants taking part so far. That includes 37 high school students, 112 post-secondary students, and 27 other community members. Participants can shadow healthcare professionals in more than 30 clinical and non-clinical departments, including diagnostic imaging, pharmacy, laboratory services, cancer care, and physiotherapy. Hospital officials say the program provides valuable first-hand experience while helping introduce people to the wide range of careers available in healthcare.
Individuals who participate in the Backstage Pass Job Shadow program have an opportunity to peek behind the curtains, as we like to say. So especially in departments that they would not see any other time. It's an opportunity for them to meet with the experts in these various fields.
The program is free for both participants and the hospital. After receiving positive feedback from students and educators, Windsor Regional Hospital has made the initiative permanent year-round program with weekday shadowing opportunities available across the participating departments.
Yeah, and Melanie, I do know a few students who are part of that program and they can't say anything good enough about it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great opportunity.
Okay, Melanie, thank you. Preliminary work is underway for the construction of a new long-term care home in East Windsor. The project significantly behind schedule and over budget. Banwell Gardens Care Center will be built across from the current site on Banwell Road. According to officials, the price tag is now estimated at $90 million, a $50 million jump from the original price tag of $40 million due to factors like supply chain disruptions. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the facility is scheduled to open the summer of 2028. The City of Windsor is exploring a new federal provincial funding program that could unlock millions of dollars for infrastructure while also helping spur new home construction. The Development Charge Reduction Program will provide funding for projects such as roads, water, wastewater, and transit, but municipalities must reduce development charges by at least 30% and maintain those reductions for 3 years. Mayor Drew Dilkin says city staff are reviewing the details of the new funding program to ensure Windsor maximizes its potential funding. A report outlining the city's application strategy is scheduled before council on Monday. Dilkin says Windsor plans to submit an ambitious proposal, adding that reducing development charges could help stalled housing projects secure financing and move forward.
What we're trying to figure out is the 10% of the development charges that will not be rebated through this program. Can we make up for that, and how long would it take for us to make up for that through the new property taxes that we're going to generate?
Meantime, a Windsor City Councillor thinks the city should look at billboards as another form of income. Ronaldo Agostino is planning to ask at Monday's council meeting if the city can get into the billboard business. He says the city of Vaughan has created millions of dollars by putting billboard signs on city property. Agostino explains the money is used to help the unhoused population, mental health, and addictions.
East Road Expressway, there's potential there to have some really cool billboards up there, and other parts of the city that you traditionally wouldn't see a billboard because the infrastructure doesn't exist, that the city does own. So basically we're putting our land to really good use, and then we're going to put that money to really good use.
A $3.9 million plaza at Lakewood Park South is now open at the north end of the park. Officials say the new space includes an all-season washroom facility, water features, bocce courts, fire pit, food truck area, and outdoor event space, and is anchored by a natural amphitheater and pavilion. Officials say the amphitheater can host large crowds on the hillside, while smaller events can take place in the plaza itself. The space was designed for year-round use. Lakewood Park South spans 65 acres and also includes trails, fitness equipment, disc golf, a beach, and other amenities. The summer season is officially getting underway in Amherstburg as the town kicks off its first open-air weekend of the year tonight. Downtown Amherstburg is once again transforming into a pedestrian-friendly hub with food, shopping, and entertainment. Visitors can expect everything from craft beer and gourmet popcorn to ice cream and baked goods, along with a wide selection of local shopping options. This year also features themed weekends and community activities. That includes guided historic tours throughout the downtown. Every Saturday and Sunday afternoon yoga sessions in King's Navy Yard Park on Sunday mornings, and outdoor chess classes and tournaments. 1 week until the World Cup kicks off in Canada. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, how officials are preparing for a massive influx of international visitors. Later, Canada has a bold new plan for artificial intelligence, but questions remain about the risks. And Monday, a high-stakes decision that could shape how Windsor grows, and a controversial heritage decision involving a landmark Riverside Drive site. That's Monday at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. The countdown is on. Exactly 1 week to go before the World Cup has its first game in Canada, and there could be upwards of 1 million international tourists coming to Canada for the event, which runs from June 11th to July 19th. In Toronto, the city providing an update on its big preparations earlier today.
Our plan addresses the downtown, what we call the last mile to the stadium, the final walking path to Toronto Stadium, where you'll find enhanced amenities such as additional washrooms, free bike valet, bike share availability, designated ride share zones, volunteers to assist visitors and answer questions, and a welcoming stadium entrance at Princess Gate.
Officials also confirming the fan festival venue is ready, where events and screenings will be held throughout the tournament. Toronto Transit Authority saying best advice, plan ahead, and fans should give themselves plenty of time. In all, Toronto is hosting 6 matches. Vancouver is hosting the other 7. The opener in Toronto is next Friday as Canada hosts Bosnia and Herzegovina. Vancouver's first game is on June 13th. Tonight, the Canadian men will take to the pitch in Montreal against Ireland for the final friendly before the big event. The Canadians are coming off Monday's 2-0 win over Uzbekistan in Edmonton. And Leamington's own Stephen Eustachio is shouting out to the region and asking for its support as he sets up to help lead Canada into the FIFA Men's World Cup next week.
I'm just here to ask for your help, to ask for your support. Everybody from Leamington, from the Windsor, Essex County, that you guys support the team. Obviously, we're going to need it. And I can't wait for you guys to go see the games, okay? All the best.
Eustachio shared the message online, looking to rally support from the team as Canada serves as a host for the first time. And the Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board took notice, sharing the post of one of its former students. He was born in Leamington and attended St. Louis Catholic Elementary through grade 2 before his family returned to Portugal. Eustachio is a key central midfielder for the team and was part of the squad that saw Canada return to the World Cup stage for the first time in 36 years at the 2022 tournament in Qatar. Windsor's jobless rate ticked up 0.1% as the local economy continues to shed jobs, even as the manufacturing sector holds steady. The unemployment rate is 8.2% in Windsor. That's lower than in places like London, Barrie, and the Waterloo region. Youth unemployment also continues to grow, up 1.4 points to 20.9% month over month. The manufacturing sector in Windsor-Essex lost about 500 jobs in May from April, but is up 1,400 positions from the same time last year. Workforce Windsor-Essex head Justin Felkner says the latest monthly survey shows both public administration and self-employment sectors are growing, while private sector employment contracts.
I would be concerned about, the loss of 14,000 plus jobs since the beginning of the year. I think that's, a concern. And I think part of that is just some of the pressures around uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty, et cetera, in the community. The majority of the losses are actually occurring in the service sector, believe it or not.
Some financial relief arrived today for millions of Canadians in the form of a one-time GST top-up payment. The federal government's new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit was sent directly to those who were eligible, worth up to more than $500 for families. CTV's Heather Wright breaks down who qualifies and what it means for your wallet.
Peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce are just some of what Sylvie Gagne grows in her backyard. Fresh produce that takes some pressure off her grocery bill.
It's nice to have fresh stuff and just go in the backyard and get it.
According to a report from TD Bank, grocery prices are roughly 30% higher today than they were in 2019. To address the soaring costs, the federal government unveiled the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit back in January. It's essentially a revamped version of the GST HST credit, with the addition of a one-time top-up payment that began going out today.
It's a significant amount of money, checks up to $533 today for a family of four.
The program also includes quarterly payments, which Ottawa is boosting by 25% over the next 5 years, aimed at helping lower-income families keep up with rising costs. Who qualifies and how much they might receive all depends on individual or household income. But a single individual could receive a maximum of $679. A married couple could receive up to $890, while a family could receive up to $234 more per eligible child.
I think that the top-up is a really positive sign that the government is thinking seriously about how grocery affordability is impacting Canadians. But there's a lot more that we can be doing.
Michael Widener is a planning professor at the University of Toronto. Among the things he wants to see changed is where Canada gets the bulk of its food from, especially given our reliance on the United States.
We need to think more strategically about where that food is going to come from in the future and what we can grow here in Canada.
And if you qualify for this benefit, there's nothing you need to do. If you're registered for direct deposit, the funds will be put into your account. If not, a check will be mailed to your home. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
We're getting a fascinating look at the deepest points of our Great Lakes thanks to a groundbreaking Canadian robotic expedition. CTV's Adrian Gobriel was invited on board by 2 Canadian filmmakers to see what is hidden below.
Off the picturesque shore of Michigan's Upper Peninsula sits the largest of the Great Lakes. Lake Superior's surface spans more than 82,000 square kilometers. CTV News has been invited to plunge to historic depths with 2 Canadian cinematographers documenting the world beneath this expansive blue canvas.
That has been visited only once before in 1985, 1986.
As the shoreline disappears, the journey on the horizon comes into focus.
We're currently heading 50 kilometers offshore towards the deepest point in the entire Great Lakes system. Our destination is an underwater mountain called Big Reef.
Traveling with us is this state-of-the-art underwater drone. This is the only camera of its kind capturing marine life in the Great Lakes.
So it can move in any direction, just like a fish. So when we see a fish, we can kind of get in close to it and become part of the school.
All right, let's do it.
Our initial descent into the deep doesn't disappoint.
We got something interesting down here.
It's our first glimpse of a native Siskiwet lake trout. Superior is the only Great Lake where they're still found.
The Great Lakes are our Serengeti, and the lake trout are the top predators in those lakes. And the Siskoat have evolved and held on for thousands of years.
The underwater giants use their large eyes to navigate the dark, deep blue waters. There's also red-finned trout who use the current created by underwater mountains to soar through the depths. As the camera is pulled out of the frigid water, we move on to our next destination.
We've arrived at the deepest point of Lake Superior for what will be the furthest an underwater drone has ever traveled into the Great Lakes.
We're about to do the deepest dive we've ever done. You're well past 300 now, 308 meters.
The drone reaches 364 meters, uncovering the rarely seen deep water sculpin. The deep dive also showcases boulders below that share a resemblance to the famous pictured rocks that soar high above the water nearby.
It feels amazing to be down here, really to have the privilege to be able to do this.
The crew are just beginning a 2-year journey into the abyss for their upcoming documentary titled Hidden Below the Great Lakes.
There's nothing more magical than getting to see what's under the waves out here.
A picture-perfect perspective bridging humanity's understanding of a freshwater ecosystem seldom witnessed before. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Munising, Michigan.
A day to forget for markets on both sides of the border. The TSX plunged over 800 points, losing over 2% of its value. While on Wall Street, the Dow shed almost 700, the Nasdaq lost over 1,100, or 4%. The dollar lost 0.14 of a cent. Gold was down $140 an ounce, and oil fell $2.50 a barrel. A major shift in prostate cancer testing. Same accuracy, far lower infection risk, and no more out-of-town trips will have to be done.
Thank you, Anna, for this sunset image. We'll be talking sun turning to cloud with rain and showers next on CTV News Windsor.
Just spectacular out there with the breeze as well. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the weather. Gary.
Now, that was earlier this morning, say around 8 a.m. Things have started to break down a bit. We're seeing more cloud. We're on the verge of seeing some storminess. It is likely going to be an active late night into tomorrow morning. Today was warm yet again. Between 29 and about 30, 31 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and the surrounds. Average high is 24, average low about 13. Air quality is in the medium grade. So it's a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not terrible. It's not as good as it has been. Temperatures under cloudy and increasing cloudy conditions between 27 and 29 from Chatham, Kent towards Windsor, Essex. That's 81 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels between 30 and 32 though. So it is a mild, well, check that. It is a warm evening. Much of the lower Great Lakes still looking at warmth and humidity building. Much of the country is in the red or orange color to indicate temperatures in the 20s, mid-20s and above. It's been a warm day for a good 65, 70% of the country, in fact, above seasonal. Cold front, though, is ushering in the showers as I speak, and along this broad front, we will see some rain. The heaviest bands are just a little bit towards, well, I'd say Lake St. Clair's North Shores, and then further towards the northeast from there. So Sarnia towards Grand Bend, Goderich getting hit the worst. Thunderstorm potential between now and 3 a.m. is there, and then again potentially tomorrow afternoon. Again, as we see here, the worst areas are in the darker shades of blue and purple. There is an indication that temperatures cool off just a touch as the cold front relatively speaking, introduces a cooler air mass, and then things are going to rebound and warm up into next week. Tonight is a very warm evening, 26 degrees at 8 o'clock, but a 40% chance of showers. It is a windy evening, southwesterly sustained at 20 to 30 km with higher gusts in the 40 to 50 range. Our Enercare Styles forecast indicates tomorrow's a warm 29 instead of 30 to 31. Then 27, sunny on Sunday, and then Monday, fair 29, and then between 30 and 34 between Tuesday and Friday of next week. Humidity values are up, so it's going to feel a little less comfortable than what we've really been treated to of late. Let's look at your weather.
Windsor Regional Hospital is introducing a new approach called a transperineal prostate biopsy. It's a procedure doctors say offer the same cancer detection accuracy as traditional biopsies, but with a much lower risk of infection. The procedure is used to detect prostate cancer by taking small tissue samples from the prostate. Traditionally, those biopsies have been performed using a transrectal approach. But the new transperineal method takes samples through the skin of the perineum instead, reducing the risk of complications like infection and bleeding.
We did our first set of 6 procedures last week, and we've got several patients booked for these procedures in the upcoming weeks. These are patients that would have had to travel outside of Windsor to have this procedure done.
Last year, Windsor Regional Hospital performed 569 prostate biopsies using the traditional transrectal approach at the Met campus. Hospital officials say the new procedure could also open the door to additional diagnostic and treatment options for men with potential prostate cancer in the future. A new fashion hub is launching in Windsor's Walkerville neighborhood aimed at supporting local designers, filling a gap left by the suspension of St. Clair College's fashion program. Fashion Week Windsor Essex is behind the initiative, offering shared workspace, industry equipment, and future workshops. Organization chair and former college instructor Lori Moore says the space gives designers access to tools and room to create. The federal government has unveiled an ambitious plan for the future of artificial intelligence in this country. They're calling it AI for All, and it forecasts massive economic growth, business adoption, and even job creation. But it leaves many questions unanswered, namely around security. CTV's Michael Couture breaks down the plan and what's already being said about it.
So this is an AI-driven product. Artificial intelligence is becoming the norm in a growing number of products and places. It's why the federal government released its strategy to harness the technology while also placing safeguards around it.
That's AI governed by Canadian values, AI that is accountable to Canadians, AI that serves all Canadians.
The broad goals of the plan are to boost AI use in businesses from 12% today to 60% by the year 2034, to build a world-leading supercomputer in order to increase Canada's sovereign infrastructure in 5 years, and to give all Canadians access to free AI literacy training.
Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children.
So far, there are no timelines for those safeguards. Experts are also concerned about maintaining our digital sovereignty through Canadian-owned and managed data centers and clouds. And some say the government needs to think bigger than this current plan.
850 megawatts, right? That was the proposed scale by 2030 of the sovereign kind of infrastructure build they're looking at. That's less than 1/50th of what the private sector in the United States is expected to have online in 2 years.
There's also a concern over how AI could affect jobs in this country. One estimate from the Conference Board of Canada would see 535,000 jobs created by the year 2045 as a result of AI. But that would be offset by a short-term loss of 555,000 jobs by 2030.
We know that that AI targets those jobs, particularly of young people, the ones that are getting into the market. So we've got to make sure that we give them the tools required to overcome that.
Minister of AI, Evan Solomon, pointed to a Bank of Canada study on the impact of AI, underlining it has not seen any significant job losses yet. But the bank notes that could change as AI use accelerates in this country. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Europe's travel surge is hitting new delays coming up, why experts say travelers should expect longer waits at airports.
Poison ivy tends to, at least in my estimation, to look like a lot of other plant species. Am I wrong in that respect?
It can look very similar to other plants, and we were looking today at some Virginia creeper, and even we have some box elder, which is a tree plant, and it can look like those for sure. And it also has variable leaf shapes. So it does have those 3 leaflets, and a lot of people know that little phrase, leaves of 3, let it be. It really should be leaflets of 3. Leave it be. So a leaflet is actually a compound leaf, or a leaf made out of more than 1 leaf itself. So a leaflet, in this case, it's 3 joined together, and the 3 joined together form 1 true leaf.
Talk to us a little bit about how omnipresent it is.
We should be on the lookout for it. So learning to identify it is the first key. So knowing where you're walking as well. And again, even staying on the trails, which we're supposed to do here at Ojibwe as well, it can creep in from the trails, so we should be cautious. Children and pets, watch them in particular, because they may not be the first ones to identify it until they're already in it. And as well, too, if you do contact it, then when you go home, do a thorough wash, right? Again, the oils can get on the bottom of your pants, can get onto your shoes as well. So if you do know you've been in it, you have some cleaning to do at home. And keep the gloves on when you do this cleaning. Multiple washes, warm soapy water, warm tepid soapy water, multiple times over.
And get rid of those gloves afterwards.
And absolutely, yes, especially if you have some disposable gloves around, which a lot of us do after pandemic times. That's probably the best to use if you think you've contacted onto shoes and pants, etc. And toys, too. We're talking about throwing tennis ball out for the dog as well. Maybe wash that tennis ball thoroughly as well. Wash your hands after handling it, and check out our pets as well, too.
Sandy McDonald talking about poison ivy. Join us next week for another edition of Get Gardening.
As many Canadians continue to shun travel to the United States, they're choosing European destinations instead. But if you're flying overseas this summer, you should expect delays. CTV's Pat Foran explains why.
Europe is a favorite destination for travel, and this summer will be even busier than usual. Bookings to Italy, Ireland, Greece, Switzerland, and Spain are all up substantially over last year. A video of the Lisbon airport in Portugal a week ago went viral when it showed lineups that were hours long.
It is quite honestly astonishing and testimony to just what a disaster these new EES rules are.
Canadians shouldn't be worried. They should be prepared.
Flight Centre is trying to warn Canadians that because of the new entry-exit system in Europe, they may face delays.
They will now have their fingerprints and photos taken digitally, and it essentially will replace the old passport stamp that we're used to on our passports.
Travel experts say if you're flying in or out of European destinations, you'll need to budget hours of extra time at airports.
It's always crazy during this time of year, but then you add in that new entry-exit system and gathering all of those new biometrics, and it is just taking people a lot longer.
And it's not just flying, it's any mode of transportation in or out of Europe.
It's affecting all border crossings in any form, whether it's by cruise ship or by land or by airports.
Recommendations if you're traveling to Europe: arrive much earlier, especially for intra-Europe flights. Keep passports and travel documents easily accessible, monitor airline apps for updates, consider flexible fares where possible, and register with Canada's Registration of Canadians Abroad Service. While the new system is expected to make travel faster in the future, for now there will be growing pains as the system rolls out.
I would be making sure that I build in some extra time at any of those European airports.
Experts say don't let the Lisbon airport video worry you too much, as it's known to have some of the longest lineups of any European airports, and others should be much better. Pat Foran, CTV News.
It's almost time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. So, Melanie, what do you have for us today?
Well, there was an event last summer that turned out to be bigger than anyone expected, and now it's making a return. And we'll tell you what that is when we return.
It's the return of the 89X Birthday Bash. Celebrate with us on September 4th at the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor with performances from Default, the Bluestones, and Fionn. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a pair of tickets.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Bring the family for a day of music and fun at the McGregor Music Festival and Car Show for Cancer, supporting the Windsor Cancer Center Foundation. See you next time on Our Community.
So, Melanie, you found out why we're seeing more tornadoes reported across Ontario.
That's right. Researchers say that part of the increase isn't necessarily because more tornadoes are forming, but it's because they're getting much better at detecting and tracking them, thanks to advances in technology and reporting methods. Since launching in 2017, the Northern Tornadoes Project has used satellites, drones, and ground surveys to identify tornadoes that may have gone unnoticed in previous decades. But according to project director David Sills, improving detection isn't the only reason the numbers are rising.
Whether Southern Ontario versus Northern Ontario, how that sorts out, that's even getting down to a finer scale, so we'll have to sort that out too. But we know that in Ontario in general and in Quebec in general, there are more tornadoes happening now than there used to be.
We've got more details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have an online story of note, Melanie, about more fireworks coming this summer.
Yes, this is the event I was telling you about earlier. There will be a fireworks show at the Optimus Memorial Park later this summer. This is only the second time for this event. Windsor's Community Services Standing Committee has approved the display as part of the Picnic in the Park series. The fireworks will take place on Saturday, August 29th. The event also features activities, vendors, and food trucks. And in our social spotlight tonight, a beloved Canadian classic is coming back to the small screen.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me.
The Littlest Hobo, which followed the adventures of a German Shepherd, aired on CTV between 1979 and 1985 and is now making a comeback on Crave. Bell Media, which owns CTV News, announced the project in partnership with producing duo Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Rogen called it a foundational show of our childhood. Stefanie.
Yeah, that's so much fun. Who doesn't love when, shows like that come back, great producing team as well. So it should be good.
I'm looking forward to this. Now my kids could check it out.
Yes, definitely. Okay, that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. When we return, a glowing spider, another mysterious new species discovered in one of Africa's least explored regions.
Oh yes, it's Friday.
My mindset, I'm still here for the rest of the night, Gary, but I'm in Friday mode.
Well, I didn't mean to jump in like that. Actually, I did, because believe me, folks, once it's over tonight, I'm going to be very happy to have some time off for Saturday and Sunday. Beautiful conditions today, really lovely, right? But things are deteriorating as I speak. Cold front's advancing. We've had a streak of almost 15 days of sunshine, fair weather, warm temperatures without the sweltering humidity. And you can see here that, obviously an average temperature of about 23. We've been up to 30. The next 7 days, our average temperature is about 29. but we got some rain on the way. We actually need it.
Yeah, okay. Finally tonight, scientists are celebrating some pretty amazing new discoveries after a trip to Africa, including a bizarre glowing spider that left them baffled. Take a look at this. This fluorescent glowing spider species was the headline in a slew of fascinating new creatures and critters discovered in Central Africa. A recent survey conducted by the Wilderness Project documented dozens of species, some previously unknown to science. Examples include a flower mantis seen using its camouflage abilities to blend in with its surroundings, and an armored cricket, which researchers say may deter predators by spraying its own blood. And as for our luminous, long-legged headliner, researchers say it is a previously unknown species of crab spider that glows radiantly when exposed to ultraviolet lights. As to why, scientists say for now, they just don't know.
That's
so many things
amazing.
Across this world that we don't know
I love
about.
the macro photography of it all, but there are so many uncovers. Just reading the other day about how there's an anticipation of millions of species that are unknown in the depths of the oceans of the world. So it's incredible.
So interesting.
Great
that's for sure.
photography too.
I wonder how much that camera costs.
Yeah.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
Enjoy your weekend. I know I will.